What would you say if I told you Russia collusion's back? You'd say, Jesse, Democrats are stupid, but they're not that stupid. No one would believe it. Well, you'd be wrong, because it's back.
Breaking news out of Washington this morning. Sources now telling us exclusively that the Biden administration is set to accuse publicly Russia of extensive and prolonged interference in the 2024 election.
The Biden administration taking a series of actions to target what they allege are attempts by Russian-backed actors to manipulate public opinion here in the U.S. ahead of the presidential election.
They're doing it again, and they're using the same guys they always use.
This is being described by our sources as a whole-of-government action designed to target Russian propaganda and disinformation aimed at interfering in the 2024 election. It is said to include sanctions by the Treasury Department, law enforcement action by the Justice Department.
That guy there was Ken Delanian, who, if he's not a CIA agent, he's a CIA puppet. Every deep state hoax, Agent Delanian's got the scoop. Sources told him there was Russia collusion in 2016, the laptop was fake, and COVID definitely didn't leak from the lab. Ken Delanian was busted sending the CIA drafts of stories before he published them. One draft he sent to the CIA had the subject line, "Does this look better?" The LA Times had to disown Delanian after he was outed as a CIA collaborator. The United States government has interfered in nearly every country's elections. The CIA used to buy off entire political parties in Italy and Japan, literally handing out suitcases of cash to politicians, and has staged violent coups in Iran, Guatemala, Vietnam, Indonesia, countless countries, and pumped out American propaganda throughout Europe and Asia for decades. And we're now in an all-hands-on-deck situation because of a few Russian websites.
The Justice Department is seizing 32 internet domains that the Russian government and the Russian-sponsored actors have used to engage in a covert campaign to interfere and influence the outcome of our country's elections. This task force has been marshaling the full resources of the Justice Department to aggressively investigate and prosecute threats targeting election workers, officials, and volunteers.
What exactly is the Biden-Harris administration accusing Russia of? The machine tells the Times the Kremlin's propaganda apparatus has thrown itself behind Mr. Trump's candidacy, creating online news outlets and fake videos to denigrate President Biden and, more recently, Ms. Harris. If you're wondering what this Russia disinformation looks like, here it is. If you see the following narratives on the internet, it could be Russian interference. Are you ready? Record inflation, unaffordable prices for food and essential goods, risk of job losses for white Americans, privileges for people of color, threat of crime coming from people of color and immigrants, overspending on foreign policy. The United States government wants us to believe that the Russians are using Republican talking points to interfere with the election. And if we see things online about DEI or migrant crime or even record inflation, it could be Russian propaganda. And anybody who emails this stuff around or says it on TV could be a Russian agent and should be under investigation. This show tonight has all the earmarks of Russian propaganda. How do we know when Trump campaign officials appear on primetime? They're just not really Russian cutouts whose phones need to be tapped. After the Russia hoax was debunked by their own special counsel, they think you're not smart enough to remember. Even the reporters in the room are like, Garland, you're kidding, right?
Russia today sent a statement to Fox News and some other outlets here mocking the situation. They had 5 bullet points or 6 bullet points. The first said, ha, 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 ha.